legit never know how to start these. So this is reality, allegedly. Basically, I collect stories about reality glitching. Little moments where something doesn't add up. Someone sees something that shouldn't be there, and then it's just gone, and nobody else remembers it the same way they do. I don't know why I find this stuff so fascinating, but here we are, and here you are too. So, get comfortable. Let's get into it. You ever walk past a house and just know something's wrong with it? Not haunted house wrong like it doesn't belong on that street at all. It's a brisk, biting autumn evening, and a small group of friends is strolling along the boardwalk of this quiet seaside town. The kind of town where everything closes by 9 and the only sound is waves and the occasional creak of old wood settling for the night. The air's crisp, sharp with salt spray, and there's this smell of damp, aging timber that clings to everything near the water. They're walking past this row of grand, darkened beach houses, big, expensive, mostly empty this time of year, when one of them just catches the eye, and it's hard to explain why. It's not falling apart. It's not obviously abandoned. It's just flat, stark, like someone cut it out of a completely different picture and pasted it onto this street. They slow down without really meaning to. And that's when they notice the door. It's mounted way too high, high enough that you'd have to climb awkwardly, gracelessly, just to reach the threshold. No steps, no porch, just a door sitting there, several feet off the ground, like it was built for a house that used to be taller, or for something that doesn't walk the way we do. Painted across it in peeling, faded script, "Welcome to the dollhouse, please come in." And beneath that, an arrow pointing up toward the handle, and in the dim moonlight, it almost looks like it's shivering. Nobody says anything for a second. Then one of them, because there's always one of them, reaches up and grabs the cold, worn knob. It clicks open on the first try. Too easily, honestly, for a door that high up in a house that looked long forgotten, but there's no hallway behind it, no foyer, no room, just a steep, narrow drop plunging straight down into total, suffocating darkness, like the house is hollow, like there's nothing behind that door except a hole. And then they hear it, this delicate tinkling chime drifting up out of the dark, an old-fashioned music box melody, the kind you'd hear from something small, something a child might own, except it's not lilting or random the way music boxes usually sound when they're winding down. It's rhythmic, deliberate, like something down there is playing it on purpose, waiting for a reaction. That's when the fear hits, not a slow, creeping unease, but something sudden and physical, like their bodies knew to be afraid before their minds caught up. Nobody discusses it. They just turn and run, leaving jackets, bags, whatever they were carrying, scattered behind them in the dark. When they finally work up the nerve to go back, hours later, shaking, half convinced they imagined the whole thing, the lot is empty, just grass and space between two mansions, like the house was never built there at all. No debris, no foundation, nothing. Some doors are better left shut, because sometimes whatever's on the other side doesn't just sit there in the dark waiting. It hums a little tune, patient, content to wait for the next person curious enough to climb up and knock. Okay, quick question. How many times a day do you actually look at something without seeing it? because this story is about the one time someone finally did and immediately wished she hadn't. Veronica worked at a small boutique tucked into a big outdoor shopping plaza. From early 2023 all the way through the spring of 2025. 2 years of opening shifts, closing shifts, knowing every crack in the sidewalk out front. And the thing that always stuck with her, the one detail she actually loved about that job, was the plaza's main sign. This huge flowing custom script looked hand-painted, full of personality, swooping letters that felt like they belonged to another era entirely. It was the first thing she saw pulling into the lot every single morning. And honestly, it made the whole plaza feel a little more special than it had any right to be. Then the corporate buyout happens. New ownership, new branding guidelines, the whole thing. And overnight, not gradually, overnight, that beautiful sign comes down, replaced with something cold, sterile, a flat, generic sans serif font, the kind that could belong to literally any strip mall in the country. No character, no soul. For months, Veronica just drives past it, parks under it, walks beneath those bland letters every single shift, and it becomes this quiet background reminder that things fade, that nothing stays the way you fall in love with it. Then, one gray, overcast Monday, everything shifts. She's pulling into her usual spot, radio low, coffee in the cup holder, totally unremarkable morning. And out of nowhere, she gets this sudden, dizzying sense of disconnection. Like the sky above her isn't really sky, just some thin paper veil stretched tight over something else entirely. She doesn't even know why she looks up, but she does, and her breath just stops. The generic corporate letters are gone. In their place, sitting there like it never left, is the original script. Every curve, every flourish, exactly the way it used to look, down to the smallest detail, like someone had reached back through time and put it back. Her first instinct, obviously, is her phone. Get it on camera. Prove this isn't just her losing it. But before her hand even reaches her pocket, this wave of dread rolls over her, heavy, suffocating, and it doesn't feel like her own thought. It feels planted. Don't. It's not necessary. Like something or someone is demanding her silence, expecting her to just accept what she's seeing and let it be. She sits there, frozen, engine still running, until the feeling finally passes. 2 days later, she's back at work, pulling into that same spot, and the sign is back to its sterile corporate self. It has never changed since, but Veronica walks a little differently now. A little more aware, a little more careful, because she knows, somewhere underneath the world we see every day, there's another layer, and every once in a while, it slips through. Trust your eyes. Just don't always trust what they're showing you. Sometimes reality resets itself, and it expects you not to say a word about it. I need you to picture a shadow, not attached to anything, not cast by a tree or a person or a building, just standing there, on its own. Now imagine it notices you looking. Hannah is 16, spending a lazy summer afternoon wandering through a busy city park with her best friend. Sun's warm, filtering down through thick canopy overhead, dappling the walking path in shifting light. Somewhere nearby, kids are laughing, a dog's barking. Distant traffic hums along like background noise. You stop registering after a while. Completely ordinary day, the kind you forget by dinner, until they reach the edge of the path, and they both just stop, Standing there is a towering, all-black figure, not a person. That's the first thing Hannah's brain tries to insist, and it's wrong immediately. It's a 3D pictogram, matte black, sharp-edged, like something cut cleanly out of the world with scissors. It's taller than any human has any business being, and somehow, even though it's flat, even though it shouldn't have depth, it does. It pulls the light in around it instead of reflecting any back out, and looking at it too long makes her eyes physically ache, like they're trying to process something they weren't built to see. The air around them drops fast, unnaturally cold, the kind of cold that has no business existing on a warm summer afternoon. And here's the part that really gets her. People are still walking by, right past it, some of them close enough to brush against the space it's occupying. And not one of them looks over. Not a glance, not a flinch. It's like the entire park has been quietly edited to not notice, except for the two of them standing frozen at the edge of the path. Hannah grabs her friend's arm. They start backing away slowly, that primal, deep-in-the-gut dread creeping up both their spines at once. That's when it moves. It doesn't walk. It glides, silent, fast, wrong, closing the distance between them in a way that shouldn't be physically possible. They scream, full volume, panicked screaming, and the crowd just keeps moving around them, oblivious, like the girls have slipped into some adjacent version of the same park that nobody else can see. So they run, full sprint, weaving between strangers, cutting through alleys, hearts slamming against their ribs, and every single time either of them dares to glance back, it's closer, gliding, silent, a void in the exact shape of a man hunting them through the streets like it has all the time in the world. They finally duck into a crowded shop, breathless, sobbing, barely able to speak. They wait. Minutes pass. When they finally work up the courage to step back outside, the park is quiet, peaceful. The figure is gone. Hannah's in her 30s now, and she still looks over her shoulder sometimes, still wonders every time she walks through an open door into somewhere new, if that same black, impossible shape is out there. Waiting. Patient. For the next time she isn't paying attention. We like to think we're the ones doing the watching. But what if we're the ones being watched instead? And the cracks in our reality are just waiting for the right moment to close in? And that's it. That's the first one. If you actually made it all the way to the end, thank you. Seriously. I know this is a brand new channel, and I'm still figuring out what I'm doing here. The recording, the editing, the whole having a channel thing. It's a learning curve. I honestly have no idea if anyone is going to find this, but I'm glad you're here. If you enjoyed it, subscribing would mean a lot because that's really the only way a little channel like this starts to grow. And if something didn't work for you, that's okay too. I'm learning, so feel free to tell me what you think. I'd rather get better, not bitter. Either way, thank you for spending some time with me for episode 1. I'll see you in the next one.